Everybody Hates Rand is a Wheel of Time podcast that will contain spoilers for all 14 books. So if you're anti-spoiler, pause this, read all 14 books, and come back. We'll be here, waiting.
Our title is a joke and is meant to be taken as such. In the context of this podcast, everybody refers to us and our cat. You are free to feel however you want about Rand, who is a fictional character. Don't DM us.
The world is a mess, Dark One stretching out his hand. The dragon's reborn, the fire's been fanned, but everybody hates Rand. Everybody hates Rand. Everybody hates Rand.
What you looking up?
My alternate Fires of Heaven titles, they're not very good this time.
I don't believe you. You say that every time.
No, really, because I just listened to the episode where we did The Great Hunt. Alternate titles. This one has... I made up for lack of quality with quantity. I did lots of characters.
I feel like... I always feel so much pressure when this happens.
Do you want me to read them instead? It's just not like... Then I'd read them totally deadpan, because I've already gotten over my laughter. Here you go.
Makes me wee anxious. Oh, you're on dark mode. Night mode.
I sure am, on accident.
Okay.
And I've been too lazy to change it back for...
Yeah. I feel like I should probably do this, because technically it's better for people with dyslexia, and though I have diagnosed myself with dyslexia.
I don't know.
What? Rand's is... Okay. Rand's is Riverdale? This feels like something. Which I don't really understand.
I couldn't think of anything for him except that Fires of Heaven is, like, so fucking dramatic.
Yeah.
And there's so much, like, love triangle shit going on. And then I thought about how he has red hair, like the guy from Riverdale.
Randerdale.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, Randerdale. Matt's is the Heart of War, parentheses, it's Talmanese.
You fucking bet it is. Funky little lesbian.
Funky little lesbian. Theirs is Wolves Read Minds? Volume 5, Gone Fucking. Which is very good. Edgeween says, I'll be honest here and just admit that I have no memory of what Edgeween does in the Fires of Heaven.
I don't know. I even did the reading schedule and I was like, what the fuck? Why is Edgeween here, you know?
She doesn't do anything.
She doesn't do anything. She's just there to be like, wow, Rand pisses me off. And it's like, everyone does.
Yeah. Nine Names says, I started a civil war and other confessions of a teenage drama queen.
Starring Lindsay Lohan.
I didn't like that movie very much, but the soundtrack bangs. I still listen to songs from that soundtrack.
I saw that movie once on TV, and I have no recollection of it.
Yeah, it was, like, fine. It was, like, Lindsay Lohan drama. But the soundtrack is really good.
Now I have to look up the soundtrack.
There's, like, this song that Lindsay Lohan sings that was, like, my fave. Whatever.
Like the Lizzie McGuire movie?
Yeah, that's...
When she sings?
Yeah. Sing for me, Paolo.
Sing for me, Paolo.
Oh my god. Elaine says the greatest showman isn't Hugh Jackman, it's me.
It is.
Me, not Elaine.
Elaine has big theater kid energy.
Oh my god.
I'm just gonna say
Elaine has big Glee kid energy.
You're so right!
Like from Glee, the television show.
Yeah, she is.
Rachel Berry.
Yeah, but blonde. Mm-hmm. And with better self-esteem, I think. Mm-hmm. Doesn't Rachel Berry have, like, very specific levels of self-esteem?
Yeah.
I don't know. I only saw, like, 3 episodes of Glee because there was a gay character in it, so that was considered too liberal for my household in the mid-2000s.
Brigitte is a little traumatizing. Hers is brave, except the only bear is Geidel Kane, am I right? Prayers. Asmodean is good rant hunting, which is fun. Have you ever seen that movie, Good Will Hunting?
I've seen clips of it on TV.
I watched it once, and it was truly the most boring movie I have
And you
ever
know
seen.
it was because it's a Matt Damon, Ben Affleck special.
Yeah.
And they just, like, were like, here, I know what will fix it, Robin Williams. And Robin Williams was like, I can't do anything with this.
He's like, Robin Williams tried his damnedest.
Yeah.
But that movie was unsalvageable.
I mean, Robin Williams made Dead Poets Society an unpalatable movie. It's so fucking...
Like, I think I own that movie just because I thought Robin Williams was so charming in it.
He is so charming, but then you, like, get a little bit older and realize how self-indulgent Dead Poets Society is.
Oh, yeah.
And how focused on the privileged white male experience.
I mean, yes. It is the fact that it's a poetry class at, like, a private prep school.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah. I don't want to hear it. Unless it's gay. Then I could be persuaded, I suppose.
Yeah. I think Maggie Stiefvater saw Dead Poets Society and was like, I can do it better.
I can fix this. There will be magic. There will be murder. There will be ghosts. Bees?
Ravens?
Ravens? A raven named Chainsaw. Drag racing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it. Gay.
Gay. People turn into trees. Okay, Moiraine's is the perfect body slam by Stone Cold Moiraine Damodred. Good wrestling reference.
That was the only one I could think
It
of.
was very funny.
I only know, like, 2 wrestlers.
Oh my god. Swans is perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Swans is Sister Act 2, back in the habit of manipulating vulnerable youngsters. Nailed it.
I can't wait to talk about this chapter. I know.
And then Avienda's is also a crime committed against another person.
This was before we saw Frozen 2, for the record.
A crime. A crime. Avienda's is Frozen, the porn. Because Emily is a war criminal.
Let it go.
No! Don't let it go. Keep it in.
Your orgasm?
Yeah.
Oh, kinky.
Rand's not allowed.
Kinky, I repeat. All right. You ready to talk about some rancid male point of view female sexuality?
No, I'm not. I'm not ready.
It's so fucking fun.
Okay, this is Everybody Hates Rand. I don't know if we introduced the podcast.
We didn't. I was going to say that.
Oh,
but
sorry.
I forgot. It's okay.
This is Everybody Hates Rand, your friendly neighborhood Wheel of Time podcast.
It's fun to mix it up and have you say it like last time when we sat in different chairs.
Yeah, that was weird, but good.
It was good. It empowered me to make a lot of editing cuts, and then our episode was only...
Why did
I don't know why there was a correlation.
Because I was sitting in the driver's seat, and you're like, dumb bitch.
No, is this the driver's seat?
Yeah, that's where you sit. You're in charge of the podcast.
I don't like that. Also, well, I guess I do statistically drive more. But I don't know, because you drove to Yellowstone, so...
I did drive to Yellowstone.
That probably makes up for... Okay, this is so uninteresting. Yeah, whatever. I'm Emily. That's Sally.
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah.
There's Tybalt sleeping.
There's Tybalt snoozing his life away. And here is The Fires of Heaven. Again, a very fiery book that I wish I could light on fire sometimes.
I know. I remember us talking so much about, like, I was like, I really like The Fires of Heaven. And I do really like parts of it. But this beginning sequence is, like, rancid.
Yeah.
Good word.
I pretty much think that all the Matt parts are good.
Yeah.
Even all the Rand parts.
Yeah,
with
they're
the exception
interesting,
of Sex Igloo, I can get behind because I think they're interesting.
Yeah.
We're at a very interesting stage in Rand's development as a soon-to-be tyrant.
Mm-hmm.
And also, his fraying sanity in the wake of hella PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Nynaeve and Elaine can be interesting, especially with the Brigitte sequence and the circus. Mm-hmm. They do also, though, kind of go on a little bit too long. There's some chapter with them later in the book before they get to Salidar, when they're just, like, chilling on the boat or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And it goes on for fucking ever. And Robert Jordan's like, I'm just gonna describe so many random women to you.
It's Robert Jordan's cake, apparently.
It totally is! It's the chapter titled To Boanda. Boanda?
The fuck is Boanda?
To Boanda. I don't know, that must be the, like, port where they leave off. Anyway, yeah, but the parts with Swan and Min and Leanne are pretty much insufferable. Because then Gareth Brennan gets involved, and it's like, ugh.
And he is
The worst.
I hate him.
And the best we can say of Morgase is that at least there's only, I think, this like one section where we see her in Robin's thrall fully, and then the next point of view we get from her is when she is escaping, which is nice. I mean, it's not nice. I wish it didn't happen at all, but I'm glad it's not drawn out.
Yeah.
Into what it could easily have been, which is what Robert Jordan attempted to do already in this one little section, which is make it porn. I know.
I just wish men would stop writing.
I just think men should stop.
Yeah. I just, like, have read already in 2020 so many books where men's portrayal of women as sex objects, not subjects, objects, is just rancid. That's going to be the word of this episode. That's such a good word, Emily.
You're welcome.
Good choice for this chapter.
It's bad.
Rancid.
Anyway, there's several points of view in this chapter. Chapter uno, fanning the sparks. Because, like I said, fire metaphors are the order of the day. We get the typical Wheel of Time turns. Blah, blah, blah. And then we get over to Min and co. as they are waiting in a shed to go on trial. Which sounds like the beginning of a bad joke.
Yeah.
A Terran, a Domini, and an Andoran.
Yeah.
Walk into a shed.
There's just...
I can't think of anything either.
And then, I don't know.
And then it just takes a turn for the worse. And Min updates us on the fact that they have been traveling with Logain for the last few weeks, and the previous night they were kind of just chilling in some stranger's barn, and then the farmer came out to, like, inspect the barn, as farmers are wont to do, and Logain knocked him over, including the lantern he was holding, immediately set the barn on fire, and then ran away, leaving the women to get caught for the crime of arson. And also murder, if you count the cows who were in the barn.
Lots of cows died.
Lots of cows died, which we don't talk enough about.
Yeah, it's really traumatic.
I know, in a burning barn, that's really upsetting to think about. Poor cows.
God, the animals of Wheel of Time deserve
I know.
better.
I hope they go to cow heaven.
Ugh, cow heaven sounds lit.
I know, I hope I go to cow
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Cows are the coolest animals. Baby cows will just, like, suck on your thumb because it's got, like, the same shape as a cow's nipple.
Well, that was some info that I am so thrilled to have. I can't wait to tell all my friends and loved ones.
You were there, I think, when Christina told me about this.
I don't know. I've
It was
sort of
in
blocked out a
Oxford.
lot of my interactions with Christine.
It's okay. Emily was busy taking care of me because I literally could not walk. My cramps were so bad that day.
You were having a bad day.
Emily was like, come
Oxford.
along, my invalid.
I was like, oh no! Just felt so sad.
It was a pretty rough one,
And
but
then we went to that museum.
yeah, those creepy-ass weird museums.
There's so many goddamn museums.
Anyway, rip cows. Cow heaven sounds lit. They're all sitting in the shed, and Min is, like, freaking out because she's like, I don't want to do this. Obviously, I don't want to be punished.
Yeah, Min's sweaty as hell.
Yeah.
Because, again, this is the start of the summer that
Hot
goes
to
on.
there in summer, as Sarah McClintock called
Hot
it.
to Veer in summer. Excellent, Sarah McClintock.
Follow
Good
Sarah on
branding.
Twitter.
Yeah.
At Sarah
McCostumes. But, Min's like, hey, does anyone know what the punishment for the arson and cow murder is? And Swan's like, if we're lucky, we'll get strapped in the village square, which, well, okay.
And Min's like, if we're lucky.
If we're unlucky, we'll get flogged, which I'm not quite sure what the border between strapping and flogging is. Severity, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe the weapon.
The weapon.
It is a weapon.
No. A switch versus a
Yeah, like a
whip.
flail.
A flail?
Not a flail, sorry.
Is a flail?
A flail
Okay,
has
so-
spikes on it,
Yeah,
right?
a mace is the
Yeah.
one with spikes on it, just on the stick,
Yeah,
and
and
the
then
flail, there's
was
a
the
chain.
Yeah, I'm thinking of...
It's like a death yo-yo.
It's like a death kendama.
A what? No, if you tell me Gethin has taught you yo-yo categorization.
No,
I
a
believe.
kendama is a different kind of trick toy. Skill toy, excuse me.
Skill toy. That's true. is a
It's
skill.
like the stick with like the ball on it. Like it's like attached by a string.
Okay.
And you do like tricks with it. I don't fucking know.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. You're right.
A flail is like a death condom. Welcome to weapons class. What am I thinking of? Maybe just like a whip. Maybe what is the one that has like multiple tails? Is there a name for it?
Like a 9 of tails.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
But I don't know if that's the formal one. Whenever I think about whipping, I think of all of the depictions of Jesus Christ's crucifixion that I saw as a child because, was raised in a Christian household.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty traumatizing. Not as traumatizing as it was for Jesus, I imagine. Or the millions of others in history who were crucified. But
So anyway,
this energy is great.
Flogging versus strapping versus maybe being murdered.
Yeah.
And Swan's like cannot be bothered because she's Swan Sanche and is the worst.
Yeah, Swan's like, I am praying for flogging because then it'll be like one and done, then we're out of here.
Yeah.
Whatever, put this behind us. And Min's like, I personally do not want to get flogged or strapped.
Yeah.
Etc., etc. And Swan's like, okay, well, it's better than execution or, I don't know, jail? Mm-hmm. Jail, for some reason, never seems to come up. Does the Wheel of Time not have prison?
I think it's just capital punishment.
It's just capital... No, because they mentioned throwing Rand in the dungeon when he infiltrates the Camelin Gardens on accident.
Oh, yeah.
Morgase is like, I'm gonna throw you in the dungeons for looking at my daughter. And Elaine's like, this is all my sex dreams. This is how they start.
Ew.
Yeah.
Gross.
But yeah, jail doesn't come up as an option, interestingly enough.
Says a lot about the way Gareth Brennan's running his town.
Yeah, Gareth. That's not even true. I don't find much fault in the decision Gareth Brennan makes.
No, he makes a fine decision. It's just like, why isn't jail an option?
I don't know. Maybe it's an and/or thing.
I don't.
We don't need to talk
I feel like
about
he
this.
doesn't make a fine decision because it was like an accident.
Well, but...
So, like, I get that, like, they're getting paid back and, like, that's, like, just it wasn't the lady's fault.
Yeah. I mean... I don't know anything about the justice system except what I've seen in Law & Order SVU. I just think his, like, thing of... And as we find out later, it's like he chose the punishment according to the actual, like, prescribed law. But being like, oh, these women have given me only 2 specks of information about themselves, and one of them is that they're refugees and homeless, and then being like, you can work at my house,
Yeah.
is
true.
like a fair, kind thing to do. Of course, then Swan's like, I'm going to go overboard.
But he doesn't say you can work at my house. They're basically, like, indentured servants at his house.
Yeah, you're right. You have to pay off the debt.
Yeah, so it's not like he's offering them...
You're right. He should have been like, whatever, solve the crime, and then be like, and also you can work at my house if you need work.
Yeah.
You're right.
Like, they have apparently, like, an insurance system in this little town because they're able to, like, pay the farmer back. Like, he basically sends his, like, right-hand lady to file an insurance claim.
Yeah, although I think because he's the Lord, he's paying out of his pocket, which
but then I'm
is
guessing
a big pocket because
he does, like,
fuck the
taxes
rich.
and stuff, right?
The economy of Wheel of Time world is so
What are the taxes
far
in
beyond
Wheelie
my
Time?
grasp. What is the tax system? Insurance? Insurance fraud? I feel like Matt would do that.
Yeah, because he's like, be extra sure that they're not trying to lie to you. So it's like, yeah, Matt would 100% commit insurance fraud. Matt's taxes. Matt is committing tax evasion if there is taxes in Wheel of Time. Never filing his income.
I continue to wish that Wheel of Time was filmed sitcom style. And that, there's some scene where Matt and Tuon are, like, sitting around, and Tuon's like, I just received a letter from Elaine that you haven't paid taxes in 9 years.
And Matt's like, well, I'm not a citizen of Andor, so fuck that.
She's like, that isn't how it fucking works.
He's like, nope, no taxes. It's like, it's all freelance income. I don't pay taxes on it. I earned it all gambling.
He's like, I saved the world, so jot that down.
Jot that down first of
I think
all.
that is more than taxes.
Amen enough.
The government, I don't owe the government anything. There wouldn't be a government without me.
Okay, true, though. It's exactly something he would say.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. Taxes, insurance. I just don't understand why this had to be a plot at all.
Well, So they're sitting in the shed. Leanne starts putting on makeup, and Swan's like, what the fuck are you doing? Really aggressively.
No.
And Leanne's like, I have decided to take up flirting. Swan's like, copy that. And Leanne's like, yeah, my mom and aunts taught me how to do it because the place I come from has this culture of women being in positions of power as merchants and traders, and for some reason they have probably because Robert Jordan has a fetish, they have chosen sexuality as their
weapon of choice.
And so I know I have the know-how, I've just never had the practice, and I am about to get into it because revenge is enough for you, but it's not enough for me. I'm ready to do some fucking. And Swan's like, okay. Copy that. And Min's like, I'm going to slut-shame you from the privacy of my own head. And it's like, Min, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
It also takes Leanne approximately 20 seconds of dialogue time to completely make over her face, which just goes to show you that Robert Jordan knows nothing.
Yeah. And Min's like, by the time she's done, her cheekbones are higher and her eyes look different.
Yeah. She's done full contouring, bitch.
In 20 seconds? No.
In 20 seconds and with products that I'm assuming are old.
Yeah.
Have, melted.
Mm-hmm. Probably are not her skin tone if they're made for men.
Yeah, what the hell?
He gives her a mirror that's, in the size of a compact. So it's probably, cracked. And she's just, perfect drag makeup.
Yeah, Robert Jordan doesn't know anything about makeup. Robert Jordan was like, I'm going to put all my scholarship about the Civil War into this text, and I'm just going to bullshit the rest. Makeup?
Don't know her.
Not even going to watch a tutorial.
And it's very, I really like this plot of Leanne becoming, more feminine and leaning more into her sexuality. I think it's a fun plot. Of course, it is, mishandled by Robert Jordan, who's, she does it for power, not just because she likes flirting, and that's, a completely acceptable way of social interaction.
Mm-hmm.
And, she's always using it to try and get something. And then, everyone else is, brutally mocking her for it instead of being cool, good for Leanne.
Yeah, and, the idea that if she flirts with the wrong guy, the guy's going to take it the wrong way, and then Leanne is obligated to have sex with him, as though flirting is in any way consent.
Yeah. Which is very upsetting.
Yeah, so that's
obviously
super fun discourse. But then they get picked up to go stand.
Oh, Leanne has also tailored her entire dress the time they've been in this shed to it's tied around her boobs and her waist, and it's how did you just do this?
I know, I was
in
what?
5 minutes? Maybe I just don't understand dresses.
No, I think Sarah McClintock, weigh in. How long would that take? Especially considering I'm assuming Leanne hasn't been doing her own seamstress work.
For at least a while.
Decades.
So she's been, keeper for however long.
For however long Swan's been keeper, which I would guess is at least 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have to be Aes Sedai before that, so...
Yeah, so a long fucking time. But all women just know how to sew, right? We're born with the talent.
You're born with a needle and thread in your mouth.
Yeah.
You're just
And they're that's how we know it's a girl.
Oh.
No one's gonna check if she has a vagina. That's disgusting. But not all women have vaginas, so excuse my heteronormativity there and cisgendered focus. I apologize for a silly joke. But anyway, they get taken by some grumpy old man to trial.
We immediately find out that the people who are taking them to trial, the people against whom the crime was committed, are the town cheats.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny, but also I think a weird way of stepping around the guilt that someone might feel. Mm-hmm. I would feel really bad.
No, I would feel terrible.
If someone's barn got burned down and all their cows
died.
But Robert Jordan is I'm going to absolve them of this guilt by making all the people involved assholes.
Yeah.
And it's okay, that's a little, I don't know, on the nose. But they see Gareth Brennan. Swan freaks out because, of course, she's seen Gareth Brennan before and is worried he'll recognize her. Leanne does her flirt stuff. Gareth pops a boner, probably.
I would.
Yeah, who wouldn't? And then he's like, all right, ladies, tell me who you are. And it's just please just let me out of here. And Swan's I'm going to glare at you with my big, beautiful blue eyes that you will literally not shut up about for the next 8 books. Anyway, as we already said, Gareth Brennan is your punishment is indentured servitude. Good fucking luck. And Swan is like, all right, I'll do the whole big oath that no one but a dark friend would break. Mm-hmm. Which she later is like, I did not give a timetable, therefore I am free to do as I want. And it's like, that ain't how it works, lady. And also, like, what if you die?
Yeah. You could have chose a different oath.
Yeah, she's like, I just didn't want anyone to be watching us. And I was like...
You could have just chosen a different oath.
They took way more notice of you for doing this crazy whack thing. Yeah. Than they would have otherwise.
And Gareth Brennan was like, well, fuck, okay.
Yeah, but it ensures Gareth Brennan's instant fetishization of her. It's odd because... Whatever, they are leaving, and then Logain comes in and rescues them, and is like, hi, I'm in charge now. And it's like, bleh, whatever, Logain, nobody cares about you. It's interesting the way that Robert Jordan goes out of his way to sanitize Gareth Brennan's sexual desire for Swan by making his obsession not about sex, but about this, like, curiosity invoked by their 1/22nd encounter.
Yeah.
Which, as far as I know, is not how people work. If someone immediately attracts your attention, there's generally an aspect of sexual desire to it, and there's no shame in that.
Yeah.
But it is a little bit weird that you then gather your entire army and go after her. That's just, like, hella desperate.
Yeah. Yeah, well, because what happens by not just letting him be like, I was very attracted to this woman, and treating that normally instead of taking his whole army, and by, like, deferring that to this, like, obsession about the oath that she spoke during a trial over which he was in charge, it then becomes, like, something about a power dynamics, and so it shifts, the focus from just, like, sexual desire to, like, some, like, really complicated, messy power dynamic. To quote Janelle Monáe, sex is about power.
Power is about sex.
Yeah. Everything is about sex except power, which is about... Everything is about power except sex. Ah! I'm fucking it up. Listen to Dirty Computer. It's a very good album.
Oh, okay.
And so it's just, like, it is about his sexual desire. It's just, like, Robert Jordan isn't letting that just be explicit, which is what you just said, but...
Yeah, well... Then he's also trying to weave in this thread of of Gareth Brennan doing this very, I'm sorry, I have forgotten who pointed this out to us on Patreon, but one of our listeners was making the comparison between Gareth Brennan and Robert E. Lee. And especially I think that is relevant here because Robert E. Lee was also kind of like a gentleman farmer.
That was Sam. Thanks, Sam.
Sam, thank you. And who kind of has this, like, local
boy,
hometown hero,
yeah,
about him, and that's what Gareth Brennan has here when he's, like, going out with all of the old men who haven't seen combat in a while and are tired, I guess, of being at home. As opposed to a plotline which I think would make sense considering where Gareth Brennan is at personally, where he's just been thrown out by Morgase, his longtime, it is implied, lover. If he just was like, I don't want to do this responsibility. My right-hand lady is doing fine without me. I don't really need to be here. I'm just gonna go pursue this woman. Still creepy, but, like less...
Yeah.
There's less of the power dynamic to it when he's not at the head of an army.
Yeah, where he's like, I'm not going to take my whole army to hunt this woman down because I was turned on by her eyeballs. Again, with the eyeballs.
Again, always the sexy eyeballs.
Okay, the quote is from Janelle Monáe's song Screwed on their album. I don't know if she uses there, but she did come out as non-binary.
I believe she said she is okay.
Okay, sorry. She/they. Janelle Monáe's song Screwed on the album Dirty Computer. The line is, see everything is sex except sex, which is power.
Except sex, which is power.
You know power, it's just sex. You screw me and I'll screw you too. God, I really like this song. Okay. But yeah, Gareth Brennan Swan's dynamic is just the worst. Especially because, like, when you get into his point of view, he's like, well, if the Damani woman was a little bit more well-trained in her art of flirting, I probably would have had a different response, but she was, like, a little too fast here and a little too slow here. Like, he was some expert in flirting.
It was just, like, annoying.
Yeah.
He's just annoying. I've never experienced a Gareth Brennan point of view that I've enjoyed.
Yeah, he's very much, like, kind of got, like, this holier than thou thing.
He's got big okay boomer energy. Oh my God. That's what I'm gonna say.
He does have big okay boomer energy.
He also looks, when he describes the hat that he puts on, I imagine him as looking like, you know that guy in the really purple outfit in the Disney animated Pocahontas movie? With the high hat.
Oh, yeah.
And the little pug dog.
Oh, my God.
That's what I imagined him looking like.
Yeah. Gareth Brennan does have kind of, like, big white guy villain energy.
Colonizer energy.
Colonizer energy. That's the word.
Mm-hmm. Which is pretty similar to okay boomer energy. Hey.
He's gross, and I don't like the way that he talks about women. But worse than him, somehow,
is everything happening in Camelin. Huge shout out to homeboy Talonvor, who I do hate, but I do think it's hilarious that every time Robert Jordan needs a guard in Camelin, it's Talonvor.
Yeah.
It's like he's the only one. Like, maybe the entire palace is being run by Talonvor.
Maybe it would explain a little bit why he's so stressed out and miserable.
He's always fucking stressed, super horny for Morgase, because he's disgusting.
Yeah.
And just, like, the worst. My little brother texted me yesterday and was like, what's the difference between chivalry and benevolent sexism? And it was such, like, an out-of-the-blue question.
Oh, I'm curious what your answer is. I feel like I would struggle with that one a little bit.
I talked about how chivalry has, like, a historical context and a literary context, and also how modern chivalry can be genderless and can just be about helping populations besides just women who may be in need of help.
Excellent.
I don't know.
Benevolent sexism is you thinking you're being good to women?
Yeah, well, benevolent sexism is reducing women's agency by putting them on a pedestal. Or so I said. I don't know. Adam, I can't talk about my brother's feminism because it's too bizarre to me.
Hopefully he'll get there.
One day more.
One day more till revelation, Adam. Okay, but yeah, the High Lady
Altima, who we last saw at the beginning of book 4, I believe fainting in the Stone of Tear dramatically.
Rand, channels or some shit.
Because Rand says that her husband, ailing husband, is going to be put in the charge of Altima's rival so that they can then conspire against Altima, which, again, if you're a normal person and are reading these at a normal pace and not for a podcast where you analyze them extensively, you probably forgot, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Because who the fuck would remember that?
Yeah. It was like 1,000 pages ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who is this lady?
Anyway, Altima's a huge dick, which you can see immediately by how she treats her servants. But she is on a mission to chat with Morgase and gain some power in Camelin. So she goes and talks to Morgase, compares her to a flower, as one does, is of course super envious because women can't see beautiful women without being envious. That's the emotion I always experience when I see a hot woman. It's definitely not, you know.
You know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, Robert Jordan is on strike 2 in the first 2 chapters. The first being Grendel cannot be hot because Lantier is so hot. And then the second chapter is Morgase, this absolutely beautiful woman, is in, like, a sheer gown with her, like, titties out. And
titties fully out.
Lady is just, like, super envious, not like, maybe I'm a little gay.
Yeah. Honestly.
And you know what? Titties are nice.
You know what's nice? In Critical Role, I'm sorry, this is relevant. One of the main characters, her mother is a renowned courtesan.
Cool.
And sex worker who is also, like, really well fleshed out. So, she's just, like, the hottest woman alive, and everyone knows it. But she's also, like, adorable. She's agoraphobic. She never leaves her house. And just super supportive of her daughter. And just, like, the nicest. And I'm just like, that's the way to write a MILF, you know?
Yeah. Hundo P.
Yeah. So, shout out to Matt Mercer for...
that perfect MILF that he created.
for role-playing a MILF really well.
for our benefit. He didn't have to, but he did.
He did that for us.
Yeah, he could have gone the Morgase route and been like, da-da-da, she's, like, really hot. But she used to be really conservative, and now because she's in the thralls of a man, titties out, instead of being like, she's being sexually abused.
It's, scary. Shout out also to Matt, not Matt Mercer specifically, but Critical Role for not demonizing sex work.
Hell yeah.
It's a really nice thing about their fantasy universe. Anyway, Morgase is, like, to us, the readers, clearly out of it and struggling in some way. She's not quite making sense.
Yeah.
Like, in their conversation. And she's behaving a little bit oddly, but Ultima's so fucking self-centered that she doesn't pick up on it. And then Raven himself enters. He is described as darkly handsome, which is racism. And really buys into the stereotype of black men abusing white women. So, thanks for that one, Robbie J. And he's like, Morgase, why don't you go take a fucking nap? And Morgase is like, okay. And then he sits down to interrogate Ultima, clearly using mind powers, which we've seen once before in the Shadow Rising when Nynaeve and Elaine were subjected to it via Moghedien. This whole compulsion thing. And then we briefly switch over to Morgase's point of view as she's just, like, laying in bed, like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Was I going to take a nap?
Yeah.
I'm not tired.
It's very upsetting.
It is, upsetting. Morgase has an interesting storyline, I guess.
For sure.
If Robert Jordan was at all, capable of writing about women and trauma, then it might be a really fascinating thing, but instead it just is handled in really upsetting ways sometimes.
Yeah, like the fact that Talonvor is a character.
Like Talonvor, just generally. Imagine if they ran away without Talonvor. If it was just like Morgase, her old fucking nurse.
And then Basil Gill,
the old innkeeper, and Lamgwin, the guy who just loves his cat.
Yeah. And the cat, obviously.
And the cat. And I think his girlfriend comes along.
Yeah.
But it just would be so much better without Talonvor.
Yeah, she'd be there, like, young and frat boy-like and moody.
Yeah, because then it would be, without Talonvor, it would stop being, like, a romance, Arthurian knight-saving lady thing, and it could become a, dissection of the class system, and Morgase really getting to know the people she's been in charge of for the last however long. I think that would be nice.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
Nothing. It's all about
nothing.
Women.
I'm a woman. All I know is how to sew a dress immediately and contouring. If the men find out we can shapeshift, they're going to tell the church.
God, I love that video.
It's a very good video. It's Contouring 101 by, I think, Sailor J on YouTube. Look it up.
And find out we can shapeshift. They're going to tell the church.
So that's those chapters, I guess. Anything to add?
No.
That wasn't those chapters. That was one chapter. It just felt
like 8 chapters.
Yeah, seriously.
No, I think that pretty much covers it. There's a lot of, like... Of course, there's, like, a parallel, though it's... Yeah, it's kind of dangerous territory to say that sexual abuse is the same as, like, a spoken oath, but there's, like, a parallel in, like, the power dynamics presented to these, like, 2 powerful women in these chapters, and, like, classic Wheel of Time narrative, like, any powerful woman has to be brought low.
Yeah, I mean, that's the parallel, is that you have these 2 women who were pretty much on top of the world when we started book 1 and have now been so extremely reduced in their circumstances.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It becomes unsettling then the way Robert Jordan is handling it.
Yeah.
To put them in situations of pursuit by a man that they haven't expressed any interest in.
Yeah.
And, rape.
Yeah. Yeah. So just, like, these various transgressions against their consent.
Yeah.
And just, like, I am so tired of the Wheel of Time. Like, any powerful woman has to be brought low. Because women cannot have power. They must be humbled and they must be married off.
absolutely must be. If you're not married by the end of the Wheel of Time series, then you're dead, probably.
Or they'll take you out back and shoot you.
Yeah, that's how it works.
They're gonna invent guns just to shoot unmarried women.
Magathon will invent guns. He's already done cannons.
Matt wouldn't want to shoot unmarried women, though.
He wouldn't. He would love them.
Yeah.
Be like,
Literally.
But that's what happens when you invent cannons, you know?
Had to do it to him.
Had to do it
That
to
was
him.
his fate, or whatever the fuck.
So that's chapter 1. Next chapter, we will move over...
Chapter 2.
Chapter 2. We will move over to Ruidaean, where we will catch up with Rand, Asmodine, Egg, Moiraine, and Matt, and Avienda and Lan, and all of our other favorite or less than favorite characters.
Yeah.
Why is Lan even in this series? He stops being relevant after book 1.
I don't know, he should have died at the Eye of the World.
You're so right.
I'm about to finish tonight transcribing our season 1 finale, and I'm like, Lan could have died.
He just could have died, yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't have to have a tragic backstory. He could have just died.
Should have been like a good dude who helped teach Rand how to sword fight and awoke Nynaeve's sexual desires.
And then died.
And then died like a good boy.
It's the best that a man can do sometimes.
And then, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you to Glenna Mackenzie for our fabulous theme song. What?
Nothing, I'm just sorry. I can't end a
It's okay.
podcast.
It's my one skill. It's the one thing I bring to this podcast. The outro. Thank you to Glenn Mackenzie for our wonderful theme song. We love it. I got in the car this morning, and because I was transcribing last night, my phone automatically started playing the new episode of EHR, and I heard my voice, and I was like, oh my god, what's happening? But then Glenna started singing to me, and it was a lovely way to start the morning. So thank you, Glenna. As always, thank you to the people who support us on Patreon, who enable us to keep making this podcast by helping us pay our hosting fees and other various things that we need to do to keep the podcast running, like create merchandise, which we didn't need to do, but I guess we did. And thank you to everyone who's bought stickers so far, including my brother Ian, who brought them this morning, which is very cute.
Aw, thanks, Ian.
And if you have not done so, that's a great way to support the podcast if a monthly pledge on Patreon is just not in your reach right now, which is totally understandable. The economy sucks, you know? But yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of our friendly Wheelie Time neighborhood. And yeah.
Do you have a sign off?
I do.
Oh.
Not yesterday, because I didn't go to work yesterday. Monday, I went to work, and I had this, little jar of honey at my desk, which apparently is a crime, because I am allowed no pleasures, but because the weather is getting warmer, the ants got inside, which is just what happens when it's springtime, you know?
You work at an aviary. It feels like if ants are going to be
Yeah.
anywhere, they're going to be there.
Yeah, it's just, there are always bugs and ants, and so it was, there was a lot of ants, so it was, a little gross, but, by the time I got in today, they were gone, so, it wasn't a big deal. But I had, an email being hey, there's ants over there because of your honey. And then someone came up to me and was because of your honey, there are ants. Then another person was it's because of your honey that there are ants. And then another person was you need to keep your shit in the kitchen, basically. And I was oh my god, I understand that I was the cause of this, but it's not like I did it on purpose. Could we stop being so aggressive about it? I feel bad enough.
Calm down.
Yeah. So that was a bummer. And I was just feeling really sensitive that day, and I was wow, I can't believe I'm such a failure and that everything I do is shit and ass, because everyone was you're fucking honey. This was a bummer.
But you were just supporting the bees.
I was just trying to support the bees.
They're trying so hard.
They are trying so hard. Be happy.
Oh yeah, you have a little bee on your mug.
Yeah, a little bee mug. Anyway, that was a bummer-oski, and I was could you stop yelling at me about my honey? Anyway. Don't show me that.
It's the cover of the Fires of Heaven.
I want to see that. It's so bad.
Don't do a war crime. Goodbye.